Hello and welcome to another episode of Peak Life. I'm your host, Michael Barnett. Well, joining us today to talk about the senior seminar is Major David Rosado from the Chesapeake Sheriff's Office. Major Rosado, welcome.
Thank you so much, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So it's been a 2-year hiatus on the senior seminar.
We're so excited to bring this back. Super excited. Every time I walk by a senior and I get, hey, when are you going to have the seminar? When are you going to have the seminar? So we're really proud to say that August 24th, 23rd and 24th,
okay.
We're going to bring it back this year.
Okay, this year, where will it be?
At the Chesapeake Conference Center.
Okay.
The best place in town to have this event.
Best place in town. It truly is.
It is.
Turnout. How does the turnout usually happen?
It's going to be, this is the hottest ticket in town,
okay.
And it's a free ticket.
And it's a free ticket.
Yeah, the tickets will come out July 20th. It's going to be at the Sheriff's Office for a pickup.
Okay.
Seniors can get 2 free tickets. Just bring your ID, proof of residency, and make sure, 55 and older.
55 and older. I was about to ask you that. What constitutes a senior?
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I'm a senior too. I know. I don't want to talk about it. But we are really excited to get it back.
So this is the 32nd annual.
32nd annual, with the exception of the 2 years that we didn't have it. But
right.
Yes.
So, COVID did so much to so much. It just stopped so much.
It did. And I definitely want to thank our sponsors.
Okay, yeah, let's talk
and
about
our
that
business partners. You have Chesapeake Regional Medical Center. You have Dominion Power.
Okay.
Walmart, Poole, Brook, and Plumley.
Plumley, okay.
Yes, exactly. So they've been very supportive this whole time, and they're going to continue their support.
Okay.
And we're going to have some new things out there too.
Okay.
State Police is going to bring out the HEAT program, where they can etch the vehicle numbers
okay.
on cars, because
okay.
you have all these thefts.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's just horrible, especially for a senior to be out of transportation.
Right.
And AARP is going to bring a shred truck out there.
Okay.
Because we're really conscious of our seniors and their security
right.
items. We do a lot of scam and safety presentations, so this is one way to keep your information safe, by shredding it out.
By shredding it out there, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because our seniors get preyed upon so much, and it's a problem everywhere. So like you said, they can pick up those tickets at the Sheriff's Office?
At the Sheriff's Office, 401 Albemarle Drive,
okay.
Right at the corner of Holt and Albemarle. It's from 8 a.m. in the morning till 1 p.m.
okay.
on July 20th.
So what happens if someone just shows up at the conference center and says, hey, I didn't get my tickets?
July 20th, between 8 and 1, go pick up your tickets. We're going to have an ad out in the paper,
okay.
so everyone will know.
Okay.
And then at the event, it's gonna be a great time. You're gonna have health screenings, a lot of information for seniors. We're gonna have our senior IDs out there, so seniors can get a second form of ID.
Okay.
Awesome, delicious lunch,
okay.
some live entertainment,
okay.
As well as hundreds of door prizes.
Okay.
So it's gonna be fun.
Always, you can walk out with some good stuff.
Oh yeah, bags of stuff everyone walks out with.
So
yeah.
that's it. So is there a website? No website?
If you go to ChesapeakeSheriff.com, and you can call our office at 757-382-6159.
We've seen an increase in larcenies from vehicles, both in residential areas, primarily in the overnight hours, where vehicles are left unsecured, unlocked in their driveways or parking lots of apartment and townhouse complexes. And then we also seen it sometimes during the daylight hours in shopping complexes, malls, large department stores, Walmarts, Targets, things like that. Unfortunately, people, a lot of times they leave their vehicles unsecured, unlocked. They leave windows down, leave windows cracked far enough where you can reach your arms inside. And a lot of folks, unfortunately, leave a lot of valuables in plain sight. It doesn't matter if you're gone for 5 minutes or 5 days. We really suggest that you lock your cars, windows up, doors locked all the time. Even had incidences where folks have left firearms or other weapons in the vehicle, unlocked in glove boxes or center consoles, and then left the doors unlocked, and people get in and take them. If you find that it's necessary, there's different safes built specifically for vehicles. It makes the safe basically become part of the vehicle, and it's a more secure way to do that.
Chesapeake Police encourage you to report all crimes, and they have several ways for you to do so. You should always call 911 immediately for any life-threatening emergency. But for lesser crimes, such as theft under $200, vandalism, credit card theft, these types of crimes should be reported to the non-emergency line. That's 382-6161, or even online at cityofchesapeake.net/police. That way we can keep our 911 responders available to deal with the critical, life-threatening emergency.
In the city of Chesapeake, just as many other localities, there's zoning that's in place, and there's different zoning classifications. So there's residential zoning, there's business zoning classifications, there's industrial zoning, there's conservation, agricultural. And with this zoning that's in place, there are some uses that are considered by right uses. And these are uses that are considered to be compatible with the zoning, and those uses are permitted on the property without approval of city council. So for example, if you're in a residentially zoned piece of property, residences are typically allowed if you meet certain standards such as setbacks, lot coverage, drainage, so on and so forth. Typically when someone is coming in to develop something by right, they would have to go to the Department of Development and Permits to pull permits and to make sure that they comply with all the codes that are required. However, there are times when people come in and they look at the property and they feel that the zoning on the property is not what it should be. And in cases like that, they will submit an application for rezoning. And the planning department handles those applications, and what we do is we do our staff analysis, which includes departments from across the city, to make sure that first and foremost it's consistent with the comprehensive plan. But we also look at other things, so public services, the water and sewer services that are available to the site, traffic analysis, so the roadways, the access. We also look at drainage that actually will come later on, but it's discussed at the rezoning phase as well. But what we do is we compile our findings into a staff report, which is presented to both Planning Commission and City Council with our recommendation by staff. Planning Commission then has an opportunity to hold a public hearing where citizens can comment as well, and they make a recommendation to Council. Then again, Council has a public hearing where they will ultimately decide whether the proposed rezoning of the property should be approved or not, and they have the ultimate approval authority, so they can either approve or deny that zoning. So again, the difference between by right development, which is a development that you can do without the approval of council, and then there's also discretionary development, which is something where you need to go before city council to get permission to do that. And just a little bit further, sometimes, beyond just permitted by right uses and the need to rezone, there's also uses that we call conditional uses. And those are uses that are deemed to be incompatible from the offset with the land. And I'll give you an example. So, for example, if someone's coming in and they want to operate a level 2 home occupation, so in our words, what that is something like a daycare. One of the things that we'll do is you have to file a conditional use permit, and then we're going to go through the process through Planning Commission and City Council to figure out whether it's consistent and compatible with the existing neighborhood, and then we'll impose stipulations on those conditional use permits to make sure that we're mitigating any unintended impacts to adjacent property, such as hours of operation, or limiting the number of children in an establishment, or any other type of stipulations that may be necessary to make sure that things are compatible.
Animal control officers respond to calls for rabies, and more specifically rabid animals, as a priority. That is considered an emergency. So when they do respond, they have the equipment to catch the animal. They have different equipment for different types of wildlife or animals to keep themselves safe. And they take the animal into custody 99% of the time. Calls for rabid animals often mean that they're in public, that they're around people or other animals, so the chance of exposure is high, because usually at that phase they're in the aggressive stage, and actively seeking something to bite. So it is a priority for an officer to respond as quickly as possible for public safety. An animal that has exposed someone, especially wildlife, someone or an animal, typically is going to be euthanized, and with collaboration with the health department will be tested for rabies. And then the health department decides, if someone needs to get rabies shots or prophylactics to protect them from that. If your animal has been exposed to wildlife, you need to report it, whether your animal is current on its rabies vaccination or not. We do not confiscate animals for quarantine or confinement, but to make sure your animal is safe, that animal needs to be tested and your animal confined to make sure that you're safe.